Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a Tall Girls podcast. I am your host and your favorite tall girl, India, and I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. As you can tell by the title of today's episode, I want to discuss H&M. Yes, H&M. For those of you who don't know this place, it is a Swedish company known for its clothing for women and men and even kids. It also has like some cool furniture and home decor and stuff like that. I see a lot of people on YouTube actually shopping H&M home. I've never considered doing that, but honestly, it looks kind of cool, so I think I might try that one day. But anyways, we're gonna continue talking about clothing today. It predominantly sells fast fashion, and fast fashion these days has definitely been getting a lot of backlash, more so for the reason that it's bad for the environment because the clothes are not great quality, and the way that workers are treated when they make this stuff, because these clothes are from fast fashion are obviously cheap, and that really means that they're paying the people to make these clothes little to absolutely nothing. And it's not really the best thing to support, but on the flip side, they're actually starting a sustainable campaign. They are selling more sustainable clothing, obviously, which is better for the environment and in terms of human treatment. And actually, the other day, I was very fortunate enough to try some of those sustainable pieces as shown in my Instagram reels and my TikTok and Pinterest. By the way, if you don't follow those, you should definitely follow me on those social media platforms at A Tall Girls Podcast on all of those platforms, but only after this episode. They'll be linked below, so don't worry. Now, back to the topic at hand. I want to go over the experience of trying on some clothes at H&M, and I want to let you guys know if these clothes are, and this brand, I should say, is tall girl approved, which basically means tall girls like me can safely wear clothes from H&M, preferably the sustainable clothing, of course, without having to worry whether or not they're too short, if they're long enough, stuff like that. And while I'm letting you guys know about all of this, I also want to provide some tips on how to shop at stores like H&M, especially if you are a long-limbed girl like me. So let's dive right into it and get started, all right? So I'm first gonna start with the tops. I tried on both long sleeve and short sleeve tops, but I'm gonna start off with the long sleeve tops because that's obviously the most important thing to consider, especially when you have long limbs, because the number one thing with long sleeve tops is that they must reach the wrists. Can't stress that enough. They have to reach the wrists. Okay, I've gone far too long with wearing long sleeve tops. Well, let's just say purportedly, supposedly, just put that in quotations, long sleeve tops that don't reach my wrists. And I had to roll them up and just make it seem like, yeah, this is the style. This is the way that I intended it to look. It's supposed to be rolled up like this. Meanwhile, half of my arm is freezing. Why is it freezing? Because half of my arm is exposed. Why is it exposed? Because I had to roll it up. Why did I have to roll it up? Because it did not reach my wrist, so it just wouldn't look right. It would look like I shopped in the toddler section, okay? And that's embarrassing. I cannot make it seem like I shopped at the toddler section, okay? So I had to do that. So the long sleeve tops at H&M. I tried on a crew neck, a cropped zipped up hoodie, and a cropped quarter zip top, all of which were of the sustainability campaign. So I have to say that the quality was amazing. I was definitely pleasantly surprised with how great quality it was. It felt nice and thick. It didn't feel like it was gonna rip after a few washes or it was gonna fade or anything like that. But the quality was amazing. Even though it was a little bit on the pricey side, I feel like the price is definitely worth it for the quality and for the justice that we're doing for the environment and for human treatment. So I just wanted to point that out. That was amazing. And actually, I was even more pleasantly surprised and shocked, I must say, that all of the tops, the quarter zip, the zip up hoodie, the crew neck, they all reached my wrists. It was amazing. Can I just get a round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I was pleasantly surprised that all of them reached my wrist. And I was shocked because just by looking at them, when I picked them up off of the rack, just by looking at them, I just thought that they were not going to be long enough. I did not think it was going to reach my wrist. And that actually goes into my first tip, my first shopping tip, I should say, for my tall gals. Okay, try on your clothes. I know we're coming out of a pandemic where you can't really try stuff on in the stores because for safety reasons, health reasons, stuff like that. But now with the vaccine out and all, things are starting to ease up. So stores are becoming more, I guess, lenient, I guess you could say. And they're letting you try clothes on now. The fitting rooms are back open. So if you are able to try clothes on, do so. Try on the clothes. That is one of the surefire ways that you can tell whether or not the clothes fit, whether or not they're long enough. Try them on. Tip number one, okay? I also tried on 2 short sleeve shirts. Both of them were cropped, and that can definitely be tricky, especially for the girls with the extremely long torsos. I don't know if you guys have seen that post that I made on my Pinterest or on my Instagram, by the way, at A Tall Girls Podcast. It will be linked below. But a long torso can be one of the reasons why somebody, including a girl, is tall. So for the girls with the long torsos, I just want to say that they were actually a pretty good length. You know, they sat at a pretty decent length. They didn't look awkwardly short on my body. You know, there are some tops that are meant to be extremely short and they look good, but then there are others that are not meant to be like that, but they're just extremely short because of the extremely long torso, and they just look awkwardly short. But I definitely have to say that they were at a pretty good length and they did not look awkward at all. So for tops at H&M, I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. There is definitely tall girl approved, no doubt about it. It was fantabulous. I can't believe I used that word fantabulous, but it was fantabulous, okay? Now for bottoms at H&M. I tried on 2 pairs of shorts and 1 pair of sweatpants. The shorts, they were part of the sustainable collection, which were also on the pricey side, just like the tops. And I also tried on a pair of sweatpants. I was really impressed by the shorts. They were pretty far below my butt, I could say, and they reached to just above my mid-thigh. Now, I think that these shorts were probably supposed to be around the mid-thigh area, probably a little bit below it, but I do have extremely long legs, so stuff that's supposed to fit like that is obviously not going to fit like that on me because my legs are extremely long compared to the average height girl here. But I wasn't too mad about the length. I actually like the length kind of like that, so I was pretty happy with that. But the sweatpants, on the other hand, it was not a good look. Let's just put it that way. It was not good. No, just no. See, it was every tall girl's nightmare. They barely reached to right above my ankle. Like, it wasn't at my ankle, it wasn't below my ankle, I don't even want to say it was above my ankle. It barely reached to the position that was above my ankle. And it was a really weird length. I was really put in a tough position at that point. And I think that everybody, even men too, are just put in a very tough position when they see that it barely reaches like right above the ankle. It's like almost there, but just not quite. And I actually have a tip for that when it's at that awkward length. I prefer to call it the knee bend test. I don't know if it has an actual name. I don't even know if other people do this, but this is what I use when I try to see whether or not the pants are a good length for me. So when you bend your knees or you sit down or anything like that, our pants tend to hike up. So what I do is I try to bend my knee at a 90-degree angle or close to that, typically similar in a way that I'm sitting down, kind of, and I look at the bottom of the pants and I see if it is at the halfway point of my calf or above the halfway point of my calf. It is clear that it's too short. It's a no, you have to put it back. But if it's below that halfway point, 3/4, I guess you could say, 2/3 of the way, then that's a pretty good length. So just remember that when you're trying on pants, the knee bend test, okay, 90 degrees or somewhere close to that, and you try to see if it's too long or too short that way when you bend your knees. So I did that. So I sat down in the little chair thingy that they usually have in the dressing room. And when I sat down, it just went above the halfway point of my calf, went pretty far above. And that was honestly shocking. And it was a little disappointing that it was too short, but I'm not surprised. Stuff like this has been happening for a very, very long time. So for the bottoms, I would probably rate it a 5 out of 10. The shorts were pretty good. I recommend getting shorts on the longer side, not something too short, because it can look awkwardly short if it's not meant to be on the body with longer legs. So I would definitely recommend shorts on the longer side because those are pretty good. And for the pants, or anything longer than shorts, I should say, it's not a good length. I would not recommend it. See, and I'm on the shorter side of tall, okay? I'm 5'10", I'm 5 feet and 10 inches. And if it's awkwardly short on me, imagine if you're taller than me. So all in all, I don't recommend pants or anything shorter than shorts from H&M. But overall, I think that the experience, it was pretty decent. You know, H&M is partially tall girl approved. The tops were great. It reached my wrist, good quality, everything. But the bottoms, on the other hand, it's a bit iffy. I definitely recommend trying it on before you buy it. And if you're online, if you're shopping online at H&M, I don't know. I don't think I would recommend it. The tops, yeah, you can definitely do it online. Just get your size, you get whatever size you want. But the pants is a little bit iffy. Just be prepared if you do buy some to possibly return it and be disappointed. Yeah, so actually, I might do an episode on how